if you really talk about the things that she is claiming Justin did, right? What is she saying? He walked into her trailer when him and Jamie Heath walked into her trailer unannounced. First of all, she had security that Wayfarer paid for, as well as had her own security, as well as had her nannies, her hairdresser, her wig maker. Okay? Yeah, all with her. Her assistants, everyone with her. Okay? So what are you talking about? Second, there's text messages saying that she invited them in while she was pumping. Third, Justin Baldoni gifted her from his own his wife, Emily Baldoni, and Justin Baldoni's mom have a company for mothers who are breastfeeding. He gave that to her. And it's well known that she breastfed all over everywhere. As well as on January 5th, the day after the meeting about all of this ongoing sexual harassment, she had her kids on set. She also flew with Justin Baldoni on private jets with her kids. She also had Justin Baldoni over late night at her condos to rehearse sex scenes. Now, does this sound like someone who is being repeatedly sexually harassed? That's how you behave around your harassers? I don't know. Not me, that's for sure. Okay. Then she said he lingered on a kiss too long and shot takes that were unnecessary, I guess, in her opinion. He is the director and was editing the movie, or was supposed to. You are an actor. You act from action to cut. When the director says cut, it's not up to you, the actor, to say how long the scene is supposed to go for, because you don't know what their vision is and what their storyboards are to go into the editing room. She also said he called her sexy. Well, there's text messages from Blake Lively wanting the character to be more sexy, wanting to be sexied up, referring to her character as more sexy. So, knowing that Justin Baldoni is probably walking on freaking eggshells around Blake Lively and Jenny the man-beater Slate, he was probably just trying to make them feel good and use the same verbiage that Blake Lively repeatedly uses. He commented on the wardrobe, saying the wardrobe was sexy. Blake Lively went over the wardrobe by almost $500,000. So that wardrobe better look good. Okay? Again, Blake Lively and all of her post-production, all of her PR throughout the entire marketing of the film, all she did was talk about the fashion. All she did was talk about the wardrobe and the rings and the shoes, this. But yet when Justin Baldoni talks about it with her, it's sexual harassment. The dance montage where he, I think at first said licked or sniffed up and down her neck. Yeah, he sniffed. You smell so good. Tried to kiss her multiple times. She felt trapped. She was so trapped. Well, then we saw the dance montage takes. Yeah, we all know how that went. The birthing scene. She says that Steve Sarowitz, the founder of Wayfarer, showed up on set that day only because she was going to have her legs high in stirrups, that she wasn't covered. They forced her to try to be naked. Okay. Jamie Heath showed her porn that day, and it was a very unprofessional set. It wasn't closed, etc., etc., etc. Well, now we know that the porn that she was so appalled to see is a birthing video, and Blake Lively is a mother of 4. A birthing video. Now, I see birthing videos can be gross, off-putting. They create a lot of emotions, right? It could be very intrusive, alarming, right? Porn? That's strange. But now we have the actor as well as Wayfarer side, as well as Steve Sarowitz coming out, and Steve Sarowitz says he wasn't even there for that scene. The actor who played the OBGYN said everything was fine. She was covered up, first of all, and she had black shorts on. Explain that. As well as in Blake's own CRD complaint, in the little footnote, if you look, it says that she was wearing what every actor wears to shoot scenes like that. So it's okay for every other actor, but it's not okay for Blake. Those are the things that she is claiming that they did, right? Now let's talk about what they're claiming Blake did. Ryan Reynolds screamed and berated Justin in pre-production for fat shaming his wife for asking the trainer how much she weighs so he can prepare for a lift scene because he has a bad back. In pre-production, the actor's husband, regardless of who the fuck he is, okay, the actor's husband is screaming not only at the director, but at the producer and the person who runs the freaking company who's making the movie. He's berating him. They should have fired her then. She missed set multiple times, claiming death in the family, COVID, etc., 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 but then was seen at Taylor Swift's concerts. Interesting. She blamed Wayfarer for COVID. Meanwhile, her husband, Ryan Reynolds, was on a late night talk show admitting that he also got COVID, and he, in turn, was blaming his female co-star. So which is it, Blake and Ryan? Was it Justin Baldoni that gave Blake COVID, or was it Ryan with his female co-star? Interesting how that happens. Don't want to say anything that happened there, but very interesting. She went over the budget of wardrobe by almost $500,000 for her wardrobe alone. She had the first AD, 2 women ADs fired from the set. She didn't even show up to shoot on the first day principal photography was starting. Let's start there, right? Doesn't even show up to shoot. Then on November 9th, when they are ready to go and the guild strike is over, she's not ready to go yet because then she sends this 17 point of demands. This 17 point of demands is after the meeting of the dragons, is after they told her no for the first time. She kept asking to see the dailies over and over and over during the strike. And finally, they put their foot down and said no. And now the first time Blake Lively hears no, she gives them the 17-point list of demands. Then they have the schedule ready to start shooting somewhere in December, and she doesn't go. She extends the shoot date yet again, which she has done multiple times. She had the composer replaced with one of Ryan Reynolds' composers from Deadpool and Wolverine. When he was pretty much done the entire score, the original score of the movie, not freaking Taylor Swift music, the original score, which had a big orchestra, and it was going to be, I swear, it was probably going to be so beautiful. She had him replaced when she took over the edit. She had the editors replaced. She kicked Justin Baldoni out of the edit room, locked him out completely. And don't say that it wasn't because she wasn't able to be talking to Justin because of all of the SH stuff either, because they were still talking. She was Gucci and Kiki with them, texting them, what can I bring you for coffee? Showing up on set and hugging, and then going to other female cast saying, you don't have to hug them anymore. But then there's literally videos of Blake showing up on set and running and hugging Justin. Interesting. In her own CRD complaint, she says that she was talking to a friend who was also a friend of Justin's who was supposed to go on set that day, and she admittedly calls them clowns and creeps. That's kind of weird. Undermining, insulting your boss to his own friends? That's toxic behavior. That's mean girl behavior. She was on set, I'm sure, with the man beater Jenny Slate. There's all over Blake's CRD complaint how she was talking to the other actress on set. I'm sure those conversations were very telling, very mean, very ridiculed, full of man-hating, feminist speech. She fought her way for the PGA credit after extorting them for the edit of the film. Even though they resisted doing it, she threatened to pull Taylor Swift's music if she didn't get her way on the poster, and also if they didn't remove a film by Justin Baldoni, as well as if she didn't get the PGA credit, she was going to not use Taylor Swift's music. Oh, what a shame that would have been. She removed Justin Baldoni and demanded that she take his place at Book Bonanza, even though it was planned for months that Justin Baldoni would be at Book Bonanza with Colleen Hoover. Right? While she was at Book Bonanza, she personally paid for all of the other cast members to be there. She paid for their flights and their hotel rooms, completely icing Justin out. What a look. That's when people started asking questions. Where's Justin? Where's Justin? People started looking into Blake Lively because of her own actions icing Justin Baldoni out. And it wasn't because of this SH, because like I said, in her own words, everything was Gucci after January 4th. I mean, it was so good that she had her kids on set doing a little bake sale or asking for money or donations or something, which is wild considering Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are millionaires and this cast and crew didn't work because of a writer strike and was delayed multiple times because of Blake Lively. She demanded that Wayfarer not be able to go to their own premiere and then settled that they can go, but at different time slots and they have to be in a basement. Wayfarer paid for Blake Lively's post-party of that premiere, where she served alcoholic beverages from her Betty Booze collection, some named after Ryle, the abuser in the movie. A movie about domestic violence, and she's selling alcohol cocktails named after the abuser. During the premiere, she announced to the entire world that her husband, Ryan Reynolds, had his slimy little fingers on the script and wrote the iconic rooftop scene that before was announced, a woman had wrote. Ryan Reynolds took that over, took the voice away from women. Disgusting. Probably should have kept that one sealed since, again, there was a writer strike and Ryan Reynolds is writing on a movie he wasn't invited on. I mean, I can keep going on and there's more. There's more that she did. I mean, let's talk about the 14-page text message where she's basically threatening them that she's Khaleesi and she has dragons. How she's saying, no teeth, right? I bite with no teeth. Her sexual innuendo text messages to Justin Baldoni. I would think that's inappropriate and in sexual harassment, in my opinion. They were monsters, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, throughout this entire filming. Pre-production, production, post-production, and now we're here. We're here because of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' monstrous, disgusting, tasteless, absolutely out of touch. It's not even comprehensible how they would do a marketing campaign like they did on It Ends With Us. And you know what? People were like, no. I don't think so. Because maybe it was news to Blake Lively, who's never touched grass or lived an actual day out in them streets. 1 in 3 women will suffer some form of abuse or harassment or violence from a man in their lifetime. So survivors were like, no, you can't hawk off your alcohol company and your hair care brands to us while also promoting a movie about DV. In Blake Lively's interviews about DV, when she was asked, when women respond to this or when survivors respond to this, how should they approach you? What should she say to you? And she made a joke. What do you want me to do? Give them my location share? Is that what you want? In her own words, she said this isn't a movie about DV. It was unbelievable, the PR. So when people started to go, I don't think so. Who is this person, Blake Lively? Because I haven't seen this bitch since Gossip Girl 12 years ago. And then they started. Googling Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively. And all of the work that Leslie Sloan did to cover up, all of the work Ari Emanuel did to cover up, all of the PR, all of the money, all of the little games, all of the control they had over all of their decade-long acts of brutality and complete dumbfounded meanness and cruelty came to light. And unlike media, unlike People magazine, unlike the ones that they have in their pockets, the internet sleuths, the YouTubers and the TikTokers and the X and the Redditors and the Instagrammers, we couldn't be paid or silent or controlled. You couldn't spin the narrative anymore. They lost control. And unfortunately, their past is so gross. Okay, getting married on a plantation. Blake's SNL appearance, like, look into that. Making fun of DV while Rihanna was the main host after the incident just happened that year with Chris Brown. Yeah. Blackface. It goes on, right? And all of this stuff Ryan Reynolds did. This isn't the first franchise he's taken over. Blade, Deadpool, now it ends with us, and I'm sure there's more. Look at all the stuff he did. Look at all the stuff he has done. Especially to those gamers in Montreal, Brett Douglas McDowell and his partner. You can't cover that up. No amount of PR is going to silence us. And they couldn't spin it. They couldn't control it. And unfortunately, when you go digging and your past is nasty and mean and cruel like y'all, it comes to light. What's done in the dark will always come to light. And because it all came to light, they couldn't handle it. They lost the war on PR. Because let's not forget July and August, Leslie Sloan was working her butt off to smear Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer. That's plain as day. You cannot argue that. All of the headlines, all of the stories coming out, pro Blake, they were so against Justin Baldoni. They were doing the smearing. Wayfarer were just trying to counter it. But then when we got involved and we started looking, they're monsters. And they have been for a very, very long time. And when you have those types of monsters against people like Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, and Justin Baldoni, the people of opinion, the court of public opinion, they're siding with good nowadays over money and power. You might have got Liz Plank, you might have got Colleen Hoover, and Isabella Ferrer, and Claire Ayub, and Jenny the Man-Beater Slate. They might have fell for the power and the shiny objects and the money. But humanity and people and the internet sleuths, that's not as important as good and heart, which is what the Wayfarer people have. And Ryan and Blake just couldn't handle that. They couldn't handle a month of bad PR. 2 weeks at that, damn near. 2 weeks. Couldn't handle it. And then they went scorched earth.